What's up? Welcome back to the By the Way podcast, a podcast hosted by your founding members of Black Sail Capital, Nico DeGaio, Straticus, Jackie Moon, and myself, Sweet Will. Our podcast focuses on having discussions with entrepreneurs, real estate enthusiasts, and high-level individuals who are continuously growing their professional lives so they can love living their personal lives. Today's guest is one well known by many listeners of the podcast and beloved by all. He is a husband, a brother, a son, a doggy dad, an entrepreneur, and so much more. He is actively investing in boutique hotels. He's a gentleman and a scholar within the Stoic philosophy. He is Jackson motherfucking Campbell.
Well,
Man,
dude, crushed that intro, dude. Got me grinning
dude,
from ear to ear over here, dude. Thank you, man. That's such
yeah,
such kind words. You crushed that intro. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. This should be fun. I'm excited to be in the interviewee chair and have you interview me. What a lot of people don't know is probably for upwards of probably 100 of the podcast episodes I've done, Will has been the one that's created the outlines for those podcasts. So that's a little fun fact before we dive into the episode is all the majority of the podcasts that I've done, Will has actually helped put together those outlines for those
yeah.
podcasts.
It's gonna be really cool to do this one this way, you
I know
know?
it's the first time. First time. I'm excited about it for sure. To have you actually be in the interviewer seat, dude. This should be good, dude. Let's dive in. Let's do it. Thanks. Thanks
Yeah,
for
man.
thanks for doing this, dude. I don't get the opportunity to be in the interviewee seat very often, so this is also a new experience for me, dude. So thanks.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you to be there because there's things about you that I don't know. And I think there's a lot of things about you that our listeners just don't know. And, we're going to uncover some of those things. It's going to be great. Another thing I want to add is that I did write everything out, that podcast intro, your guest intro. I put thought into it and I wrote it out and I read it off like a script. But I want to share that because it's important because as we're building, I want to build this with quality. Like this is our quality control, and we're gonna keep producing content over and over again. And the only way is to become good at it is to practice it. So
Yeah.
this for me is I want to share that with everyone else that like this is practice,
Yeah.
and we're talking about practice, man. That's what we're
No,
doing.
no, dude, it's so good. I love that you bring that up because, dude, it's interesting that you wrote it out and that you talked about it, right? I think a lot of people think of podcasts a lot of the times is it's so authentic, it's so just fluid, it's so back and forth. But I love that you wrote out the intro and you put time and effort into it because I also see that as a way to be able to manifest things into the future as well. You know what I mean? You're kind of creating your future the more you talk about yourself in that way and talk about those around you in that way, dude. So I love that you did put time and effort into it. And again, thank you, dude. That's the best intro I've ever had.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
No
I
worries.
got so
Okay.
excited, dude. I got so excited.
No,
All
no
right.
worries.
Yeah, man, let's dive into it. And I want to come out with this podcast. I want to come hot and heavy, and I want to learn more about your fitness and nutrition journey.
Yeah.
I've seen photos, I've known you through, seeing your transition a little bit, but like your older photos, and I look at you now, there's a massive difference, and I want to learn more about it. So, first question I have for you is, what was that pivotal moment that made you take fitness and nutrition seriously?
Dude, the people around me at the time where I started taking it serious was crucial. Having an accountability group, having the people around you. I think that was a pivotal thing for me that really kicked it off. That really kicked off my health journey, dude, is I had an amazing support system, incredible people around me, pushing me, knew I could do better, knew I had more in me to be better with my health. And just the loving support of those people that surrounded me and that positive. I know we joke about it as a group of positive peer pressure. Like that's a thing. It's a very real thing. And yeah, so I think that was probably the most pivotal point that kicked off my journey for sure was the people that I surrounded myself with.
Who are those people?
So you guys, you were one of those. You were one of those people. Stratton Nico is one of those people. Tyler Devereaux is one of those people. Dallas Pruitt is one of those people. Just people that I looked up to in the physical space that again just knew me really well and knew that I had more in me and could push me in a positive way. that really got me going. Also Keppa. Yeah, Keppa is another one of those people that's just the loving support and helping me through that transition as I learn more about myself, and just the loving support from those people is really what, yeah, those individuals for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. So honored to be in there. So it's a fairly recent thing then that I guess, since I've known you almost 2 years now, where I guess you've turned another leaf. Um, but when I met you, you were a vegan, right?
Is that
Or
when
a
you met me?
vegetarian?
Dude, when you
I
met
don't
me,
know.
when you met me, maybe. I don't know if when you met me I was vegan, but yeah, I had like a 100-day run where I was vegan.
No. You were vegan at the time because it was the MFM Christmas party, and Ryan Willie brought some sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits, and he was like, "Here you go, Jackson, have this biscuit with sausage." And you're like, "I'm vegan," and he was like, "What the fuck?"
I know he was so confused. He was so
Yeah,
confused. Yeah.
but
So yeah, dude.
it's
So
okay.
so on the diet end, I did go vegan for a little while. Loved it. It was awesome for my body. I felt amazing. I often debate going back to it just because all the positive benefits um that were there with it. But I like meat a lot. I like meat. I like fish. I like cheese. And none of those things are vegan. So yeah, but I did it for 100 days. When we met, I was probably being super disciplined and strict about it for sure. But it was awesome. It was an awesome
It-
like thing for my body. And I definitely like,
yeah,
if anybody's like having a really hard time like getting their health going, like just not feeling good, go vegan for 90 days. Go vegan for 30 days. Go vegan for 60 days and just watch how your body just almost like cleanses itself. Like you definitely have some cleansing situations going on. You know what I mean? You're on the toilet a lot for the first few days. At least I was. But
yeah,
you know what I mean? It was really good for my body, dude. And
you
I felt
flushing it out.
yeah, I felt really healthy when I was on it for sure, when I was doing it.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome to hear, man. I mean, that's right. You're so honest whenever like it starts in the kitchen. We
Yeah,
can run as much as we want. We can lift as many weights. We can do all that physical work, but if we're not putting the work in the kitchen, it's really for nothing.
totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so since you started that journey, what type of progress have you seen? And do you have like any numbers to share that you're willing to share
Yeah.
that you've
Yeah.
seen
No,
that are pretty? Go ahead.
yeah, dude, I can definitely share some progress. I'm going to touch on a couple of mental progress points that I've noticed before I get into the numbers. So, like you said, like you asked me, what was it that like kicked off my journey? And it was the people around me, the people that surrounded me, really helped me get my journey going. But I can't rely on other people for forever. I can't rely on that peer pressure, that positive peer pressure. I can't rely on that support from others for forever. I have to find it within me to be able to get to the gym every day, get on my bicycle every day, do whatever it is that I'm doing every day. I have to have that personal discipline, right? So, I guess a mindset growth principle there was finding it within myself to do those things and not necessarily relying on the accountability of others. So that's a definite, and that's translated in so many different aspects of my life. Like in so many different aspects of my life. I don't need, you know what I mean? There's a lot more personal discipline there rather than discipline knowing that somebody's going to check in on me. Does that make sense?
No, for sure. I mean, that's I put this little note here in the outline for myself to emphasize on three things that I've seen out of it, which is your resiliency, your discipline, and your consistency. And that you're telling me that right now. And it totally makes sense. And it's awesome that you recognize that and you followed through with it.
Dude, because when you have people around you, it's very easy to do those things. You know what I mean? Like it's very easy. It's very easy to get somewhere on time when that's where you need to be because that's where you get paid and that's what's expected of you. Right. So when you have these expectations, it's almost like discipline goes down a little bit because it's expected of you. You know what I mean? When nothing's really expected of you, you have to find it within yourself to have that 100% discipline to make it happen. So that's a huge like mental mindset growth piece that I've gained over these past few months in the journey, right? It started with having a bunch of accountability and then personal accountability and disciplines, that next leaf that I'm currently working on and currently turning over for sure. So that's been a huge mindset growth piece. As far as numbers, I haven't really tracked it closely lately, but when I started this journey of like 18 months ago, I dropped 100 pounds. I dropped 100 pounds, lost 100 pounds. That was through the vegan part. And after, even after I was vegan, I lost 100 pounds, but then I put some back on. Like, I'll be very transparent. I got very excited. I celebrated, and I fell off a little bit, and I put some back on. So learning to not get frustrated and mad at myself through all that has also been another big like mental mindset growth piece for me that I've learned is over my life. I've struggled with weight on and off. I've lost a bunch of weight. I've put on a bunch of weight. I think I did the math with Courtney one time. I've probably lost 500 pounds in like my lifetime, but I put it
Yeah.
all back, but I put it all back on. I've always had this up and down, this up and down, this up and down. Um, so this go around, I'm not as frustrated with myself as I've put a little bit more back on. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I've just had a lot more patience and love for myself, and it's made it that much easier to get back on the horse and get back on track this time than it was in the previous years and experiences and times that I've gone about it in my life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. I really dig that perspective as well. Because to me, I think of it with like running as
Yeah.
well, like it's almost like choose your heart. I'm going to choose to do a marathon, right? I'm not doing it again personally, but you choose to do a marathon, you're going to put yourself through some trials and tribulations of like it's hard. You got to get ready for it. And then, like you do the race and it hurts. It's a hard race. And people are doing them all the time. They do ultras and do all these hard things. It's almost as if you were choosing your hard of putting that weight back on, and you're like, oh, I gotta take it off, and then
Mm-hmm.
you'll restart. So it's really interesting to view it from that perspective. And also kudos to you for losing 100 pounds within that, past 18 month journey. And then over the course of the years, 500 pounds to go back and forth. But like, I think the overall win is for you to be mentally okay with that and be like, and not to get frustrated. It's like, why would you be frustrated? It's like, be happy
Yeah,
that
I
you could do
appreciate
it and
that.
you're still doing it.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that, dude. Because yeah, because man, I appreciate that call out a ton. Will, thank you, man. Because you're right, dude. I see a lot of times people give up eventually. You know what I mean? At what point do they battle the weight thing, and then eventually they give up? I won't ever do that. Like, I won't ever.
Yeah.
I like if this go around has taught me anything, it's that yeah, dude. I've only really lost when I give up, and that's not happening. So
Yeah. Dude, I love that. That's the resiliency, man.
yeah,
I love it.
the
I
bounce
love
back. Yeah,
that.
for sure. Thanks, bro.
I don't know what it is about, big guy stories, like yourself. To For the listeners, Jackson made me feel very weak the other day. I was super excited because I deadlifted like 375 pounds, you know, and I was like, dude, guess what I did? And he was like, hey, man, that's cool. I did that in high school though. And I was like, oh, dang.
Dude, it
But
doesn't even
also,
matter.
but it's still awesome, because I think and I've heard so many different stories about big guys like yourself, uh, who have this amazing journey of tremendous weight loss. One's one of my teammates for Australian football right now with Baton Rouge Tigers. Shout out Cameron. I can't remember how much he told me he lost, but it must have been like 150 to 200.
It's awesome.
And
It's amazing.
and he was like, yeah, you see photos of him, you're like, what? That's the same guy. He's
Yeah.
sharing the field with me. Like that's awesome. And I'm so inspired by it. Your story as well. And there's a few other people out there that I know personally that I've seen their journeys, and it's a like you said, I think I'm more so like attracted to that mindset that they have, you know. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
No. Dude, I appreciate that. Before we move on to the next topic,
Yeah.
we're 90 days out from our Spartan race. You're coming out here to Oahu. We're doing the Spartan race. Or yeah, we're doing the Spartan race in Oahu. It's 90 days from now. So you keep saying you've seen a different person from when you met me to now. In 90 days, Will, this is my manifesting. It'll be a different person you see again in 90 days because I'm turning it up a little bit. So you'll see.
Let's
And
go.
yeah, man, I'm excited to see you in 90 days so you can see the transformation, man. I'm excited about it for sure.
Dude, that's I'm gonna match you in that because today was a start for me too. Last week I was in Atlanta and I let it go, man. It was the
Yeah.
first time in a long time where I didn't go to the gym.
I think I saw some
And
Snapchats or some Instagram stories or something of you, dude. You and all the friends going out to town, bro. It looked good.
yeah,
It looked good. The
dude,
oysters and stuff, bro. Jealous, Loki.
dude, it was good. Man, the pizza and the wings. But no more. No more. Not right now. 90 days, we're locked in. We're focused, man. And I wanna hit that Spartan race hard and I can't wait to do that. So that's our next meeting. That's our next in-person meeting
Likewise, man. So 90 days. Let's hold each other accountable, bro. Let's do it.
for sure. So dude, yeah, let's jump into the next topic. And now I want to go into your commercial real estate journey or just your real estate journey. So tell me, when did it start?
Dude, it's kind of a tough question. I don't know when it started, man. I grew up in southern Utah, St. George, Utah. If anybody is familiar with Utah and southern Utah real estate, it's been exploding. Like one of the fastest growth cities in America for like the last decade. It's one of the fastest. It's just a really growing market, southern Utah. So when I was young, my buddy's dad flipped houses. He flipped houses to help people get into homes that were having a hard time getting into homes. He's a great man, Todd Spriggs. Shout out to him. Great dude. Great dude. Learned a lot from him just watching him grow up. But my buddy and me would go in and we would help flip these houses. We would do a lot of the demo stuff. So we would go clean up the yards. We would go rip out the carpets. We'd go take out door jams. We'd go scrape popcorn ceilings. If you've ever seen those type of ceilings, we would go just like do the most basic of renovations for then the skilled tradesmen to come in and do the actual work. But that was in high school, man. That was like my sophomore year in high school. That's when I really got introduced to real estate and what it could do. Started asking questions, obviously, to Todd and my buddy Dallin, just growing up. So that was like how I got introduced into real estate, was doing that at a very young age. And then kind of as I got older, me and I worked for my uncle doing yard care, and we did landscaping all over southern Utah. And even then in the landscaping world, we found out that if we helped some of these house flippers clean up their yards, we could make in a day with these house flippers what we could have made in a week with another job. So it was just a kind of a cool, lucrative thing. So yeah, dude, I've always been in and out of real estate ever since I was younger. So that's kind of how I got my start into real estate, was doing stuff like that.
It's interesting the way that you kind of found it because it reminds me on how like Pace Morby found his way into real estate.
I'm
I
not
think
familiar. I'm not familiar. How did he find his way in? Yeah, I don't know.
so he was also on like I can't remember. Sorry for the Pace Morby super fans out there, but like he was doing more so like the renovations and the landscaping. He was doing the work, and it was an investor who was, and he would say, "I'm in real estate," and then this particular investor was like, "No, you're not. You work for me. You're just doing work on the
Right.
house.
Yeah.
It's the investing side," and that was his pivotal moment. But it sounds like that's kind of what happened to you, where you realize that like yeah, this money's great and all doing the landscape work because like I'll do the yard work, I'll do that work. But then eventually you're like, but wait, those guys got paid so much more for so much less work, or this like physical work.
Right.
Uh,
Dude, I don't even think I realized at that age that that's what was happening. If I'm being completely honest with you, in high school, I
yeah,
just was like, oh, this is a cool job. You know what I mean? This is cool that my buddy's dad can do this for people, help flip these houses for these individuals that couldn't necessarily buy a home. So we would rent to own kind of thing with him. He's just an awesome dude. But it was more eye-opening to me about what real estate could do, bro. It was more
right.
like what it could do for people, what it could, this was a side thing for him too. He ran like a real estate brokerage, I believe, or something. But this was what he did on the side. And he employed
Yeah.
people. And that's really like what drew me to real estate at that young age, was just like the opportunity. I didn't even know that that type of stuff existed. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's awesome. That's awesome that you got introduced to it and were around it, even though
Yeah.
that you may have not have noticed, but you were around it.
Totally.
And it
Totally.
shows today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, in my mind, you're a resident guru as far as Black Sail Capital goes.
I don't know about
So
that. I don't know about that. But thank you. Thank you. No, dude. So yeah,
yeah,
from there, you asked into commercial real estate. So from there, that's when I was younger. That's how I got introduced into it. But commercial real estate, I got introduced into commercial real estate through Tyler Devereaux. Going and initially with what I did in commercial real estate was I was helping RE Mentor in their events that they were doing. RE Mentor is a real estate education company. They went around the country doing seminars, and I helped sell their packages, their education packages around the country. So that was my introduction to multifamily real estate, was learning about it. I got to go sit in these seminars and learn about multifamily real estate, and then help other people take action if they wanted to take action to go do real estate, to help them do that. And then I caught the bug doing commercial real estate like that, right? There's like, commercial real estate's very attractive. And as I was doing that, going to all these seminars, learning a bunch, continuing to just learn, because I was selling this product, I wanted to know more about multifamily real estate and commercial real estate. So just continuing to learn and educate myself through that. That's how I got started in commercial real estate. And then
Dude,
through that, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I didn't know that. I don't know. I'm so glad you shared because it's like that's how I basically am starting, from my almost 2 years within this industry. But that's so interesting that you're like, I'm here, I'm learning it. Why not become good at it? Because you see it.
Right, right. And I had no idea the power of multifamily until I was really in it, until I got that opportunity to go out and travel and go to these seminars and help put these seminars on. Which for that, I'm super, super grateful. But yeah, dude, learned a ton and just continued to gain knowledge over the couple of years that I did that. And then when COVID hit is when I actually joined a real estate acquisitions firm, Multifamily Capital Partners, with Tyler Devereaux and Ryan Woolley, where we took down a bunch of assets. We took down a whole bunch of multifamily in North Carolina, South Carolina, and the southern states as well. And that's how that was like my real intro to doing multifamily commercial real estate, was with Multifamily Capital Partners.
Heard. No, that's awesome. So I'm glad you kind of segued into my next question there, which was like how did this progress with multifamily capital partners and multifamily mindset? And you started in Utah, right?
So I was living in Utah during COVID. All the seminars stopped. Right, I was doing seminars with the same company Tyler and Ryan was doing them with. So that's how I got the opportunity to do those seminars, was through Tyler.
Where were you in Utah?
I was living in Utah County, Payson, Utah. I don't know if anybody's very familiar with that. It's kind of in the
Man,
middle of Utah.
I was in Salt Lake at the time. I wish I would have known you. Could have
I
just
know.
like gone on hikes and stuff and
Yeah,
right down the street.
I know, kind of crazy, huh? Kind of small world for
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, I was in Utah at the time, and it was COVID hit, and Tyler hit me up and was like, "Hey, me and Ryan are going to expand. We need some help. We're going to start taking down more assets now that we're not doing any more seminars. We're going to hammer down on doing real estate." So they brought me on as a team member to Multifamily Capital Partners, and I started helping them in their acquisitions firm, from real estate, from acquisitions to helping with loan packages to helping with investor relations to all different sorts of stuff. I got a very good intro and
Yeah.
deep dive into the multifamily real estate world and the inner workings and how that all works. It was amazing.
Right. Baptism by fire.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Yeah.
but now you're in Hawaii,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
So how did that happen?
So continued to do commercial real estate with Tyler and Ryan, and they decided that they wanted to do an education company. And as the first employee that helped them put together not help them put together, but came on to help them with their acquisitions firm, I also helped them build their education company as well. So I took an opportunity. Tyler invited me to move out here and work with him out of his office out here in Maui, and definitely took that opportunity and ran with it. So Courtney and I have been out here for almost 3 years now. Yeah, that's how it got out here to Maui.
Yeah. And I know who Courtney is, but for the listener's sake, who is Courtney?
That's my beautiful wife of nearly 7 years. Yeah.
Dang, I didn't know that. I'm glad I
Yeah.
asked. Who's Courtney? Was it hard to get her to want to move to Hawaii?
No, dude, she's the one that kind of really pressed it. She's like the one, you know what I mean? She knew. She's she's amazing. She's amazing. I
Yeah.
love my wife, but she's always pushed me to do things that are gonna, you know what I mean? Just growth oriented things. And she really pushed to make it happen. I was scared. I was comfortable. I had a good position with the company in Utah. Probably could have expanded with the position in Utah, but we felt that there needed to be a shift in our life, and moving away from Utah was that shift that we felt we needed. And this was an opportunity to be able to do that, but still have a good job and still stay with the company that I helped build. So we took it. She helped us with that for sure.
Dude, that's
So no,
awesome.
so
And you
so
get,
it wasn't hard for her at all. It was like it was what she wanted to do.
yeah, no, that's awesome, man. It's awesome that she recognized that and she was like, no, we're doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would say y'all definitely embrace the aloha spirit, like
Thanks, dude.
tremendously. I've learned so much from y'all, from your time in Hawaii. Like I feel like I have a little bit of the aloha spirit within me, even though I live over here in New Orleans. But I try to exude it around where I am.
Definitely
I try to be easy every single day, and
love that.
that's
Thanks, dude.
that's what I try to do. Um, so cool. So now things have changed. We don't have to get into more of the past, but like, why do you want to continue in this industry with Black Sail Capital?
Bro, I want to do work with good people and create amazing things that are everlasting, right? And with Black Sail and what we're doing in the boutique hotel industry space and the experience that I have in the real estate space, I feel like this is the best opportunity for me to be able to do that. Um, Create amazing things. So that's why I want to stay in this space, is just to create amazing things with people that I love, to help people and continue to serve people with the skill sets that I have. So that's why I want to continue.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because it's like you're always about the people. Even from like your early days, as you mentioned before, into real estate, it was you were helping people. It wasn't about like, yeah, maybe the money was good or something, but it was about flipping those houses for those people who needed it, and you did that work. You put you got your hands dirty, and now someone's living there right
Yeah,
now.
sure. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right, which is awesome. And the same thing here is like you want to do it around good people. Uh, and that's something that I've learned from you and many others within this industry. Like it is a people business, and like you surround yourself with the people that you want. And it's been great for me in my journey to meet these people and be like, "No, you're staying here. Like you're on my team,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's awesome." So let's jump into Black Sail Capital. And something here that I want to talk to you about is like, what do you want out of Black Sail Capital? Like, what is it that you're looking for?
Do I think I could put the same answer on repeat from what you just asked me? Why do I want to continue in this industry? Is because I want to live presently and create things that are calling me to create. This is one of those things that I'm trying to live presently. I'm trying to be in the moment and trying to take everything that I've experienced in my life up to this point and be able to use those things presently to be able to create. So like, that's why I want to that's what I want from Black Sail, is to be able to do that, be able to create things that are here now, that are calling to be created with people that are like-minded, that live, you know what I mean, that are just good people. So that's what I want from Black Sail. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I almost feel like these other questions are going to be another repeat. Because then like, I think you're really explaining it really well. Then like, why do you believe Black Sail Capital is going to be the vessel that gets you there with those
No,
people?
dude, that's a good question. So I believe, because our intentions are all aligned, and the values that we have as a company and that we have as just individual people, you know, if like my life in business has taught me anything, I know I turned 30 this year, so I'm still pretty young in business, but
The dirty
if
30.
if I've learned anything in business, relationships are the most important thing. The relationship with your clients, the relationship with your investors, the relationship with your partners is the most important thing. So when I see why, like you asked the question, why do I believe the Black Sail is going to be a difference maker, is because we all have a great relationship on the same values. Like, we have very similar values, and similar, that's not even similar. We have the same values that we move for. We know, like, I know your actions are going to be in line with the values that we all share. I know Nico and Strat's actions are going to be in line with the values that we all share. And because of those values, that's why I think that we'll be able to create something that's amazing and everlasting, and that could possibly change real estate and change the world, is because we're all rooted in those values. That's why I believe that we'll be able to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's also really good to hear you say that, like, as a business partner, because being in New Orleans, it's pretty difficult, being alone.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, and you guys are on the island, but I'm on an island by myself over here. It's just massive. Um, and it's been hard in the beginning, but like it's good to hear you say that because it lets me know that we are on the same path no matter what. Whatever decision you're making over there is a similar decision that I would have made over here, but we're looking for the same outcome.
Right.
Um, we may have different ways that we get there or methods, but we want the same thing,
Hmm.
which I think is it's so reassuring to hear it. So thank you for sharing.
We want the
And
same thing, but Will, let me add, we want the same thing, but it's all rooted in the same thing as well.
right.
You know what I mean? Like we're all trying to get the same thing, but we're all like launching from the same starting pad, and we're all taking the same tools with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all have those same intentions. And that's why I think we'll be able to get to that end point.
Oh, yeah. I don't even think I believe it.
I know.
It's a
Yeah.
matter of
No, I know.
time.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
It's like every day we just get you inch closer every day.
Hmm.
That's awesome, man. Thanks for sharing. So next question is how do you think we're gonna get there?
Continuing what we're doing, man. Continuing what we're doing. Continuing to move
What are we doing?
moving in alignment, dude. You know,
Yeah.
we work hard, we keep our head down, we work on ourselves, we can control what we can control. Um, that's how I believe we're gonna get there. Staying
Yeah.
positive, controlling what we can control, working as a team, moving in alignment as we do, you know, continuing with our core values. That's how we get there.
Dude, that's awesome. I love like you say that with conviction and like there's no like a moment of thought process for you because like it lives in you. Like I ask you these questions and you respond because you already know that this is the path and that's awesome. And
Thanks,
it's the
dude.
same thing for me. People ask me like why? Like because of this. These things that you're saying is exactly what I'm sharing as well. So to build
Dude,
off of
I
that
think
question,
I think I can say
go.
it with such conviction. And I think you can say it with such conviction, Will, is because like we've experienced it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? We've experienced like what it's like to move and to progress because you're staying true to your values. We know what that's like. And if you can stay within those values, you can continue to progress, you know?
Yeah.
And we know that. And like anything good that's ever been created has been rooted in love, has been rooted in love and service and alignment. It's been rooted in those things. So if
Mhm.
we can create in those things that are rooted, it'll, yeah, man.
Yeah. That's awesome. So kind of segueing is it the destination that you're after, or do you think it's the journey with the BSC crew, or is it a combination of both? Because I think once we get there,
Yeah.
we're gonna be hanging out together. So it's like, but what do you
Yeah.
think?
Dude, I think 100% it's not the destination, it's the journey. Um, Let me dive into this. I just started this a couple of weeks ago, but I have some big key things that are coming up in my life, and I have them on my whiteboard, and I have this many days until blank, this many days until blank. So I'll just tell you, 90 days until the Spartan race, 96 days until one of my buddies' wedding, like one of my like lifelong buddies. I'm a groomsman in his wedding.
Nice.
50 and then 55 days until I turn 30 years old. So I have these things that's like I have these days until. I have these days until, and then right underneath it, I have but could die tomorrow.
Ooh.
So it's like you know what I mean? We use these goals and we have these things that are set in the future, but I think sometimes we use them as like false senses of security for taking
Mm,
action now and doing things now, right? So I have these things on my board, 90 days, 96 days, 55 days, but underneath it says but could die tomorrow. It really helps me stay rooted in the now and in the journey. So you asked that question, is it the journey or the destination, dude? It's the right now. For
yeah.
me It's 100% the journey, because the destination might not ever come. You may die, the destination may change. You know what I mean? And what the only thing that you can control is what you're doing today to maybe hopefully get there. But like, you can't be confident in that. You have to surrender to the fact that those things may never happen. But what can happen is what you can do right now.
Damn, dude, that's powerful. That is memento mori at its core, you
And that's
know?
what it says. That's what it says underneath. Could die tomorrow.
Okay. I love that, dude. Gentleman and a scholar of the Stoic philosophy, which I really respect you about, which is a great segue into our closing moment, which is going to be a Stoic moment. And I just wanted to end it with a Stoic philosophy that could help others through their journey. But I think we kind of just hit on it. It's memento mori. Can you kind of expand on that?
Yeah, do memento mori to me. Yeah, but there's another one that I want to share too, Will, from my reading this morning that I really want to share.
All right, perfect.
Memento mori is, yeah, I think it translates like exactly to the like moment of death. I think I could be wrong, but what it does is it serves as a reminder to me that like death is inevitable. Like I have this skull on my desk back here too. That's kind of my reminder. That gold skull is like death is inevitable. It's gonna happen. But the thing that we have to surrender to is that we don't know when it's going to happen. So for me, that draws my actions to the present. That draws my actions to the right now. And what can I do right now? Because I might jump in my car and it might be the last time I get in my car. So it's just trying to remember that, but in a positive note, right? It's like but looking at it from a positive perspective of I can control right now. I can make things good right now for myself in my inner peace. Right. So that's what
continue living.
Yeah, and then you just continue living in the present, just remembering that.
Right.
That's what memento mori means to me, dude, for sure.
Dude, I love that.
Another Stoic principle, dude. This is what I.
Wait,
this is from my,
hold on. Before you start,
yeah.
You said it's from your reading this morning. What are you reading?
So, dude, I've picked up and started reading again. Meditations, Marcus Aurelius. So when Will and I were together in San Diego, Will picked up a copy, and I hope. Have you started?
I have started.
Beautiful.
I haven't. I'm still in like the prelude area, but I've started.
I'm excited for you to dive in, dude. I'm on book. So there's books within the meditation. So I'm on book 4 right now within meditation. I just restarted book 4. And one of the first passages in book 4 goes more or less, I'm probably butchering exactly how it says it, but it says more or less, oh man, I'm just going to grab it. Hold on one second.
Yeah, do it.
Because I don't want to mess it up. It says, tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do, only what you do.
Can you read that one more time?
The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do, and only care about what you do. Not to be distracted by their darkness, to run straight forth to the finish line, unswerving. That was my takeaway this morning when I was reading. It's just more of the control. If you're having a hard time, if you're an entrepreneur and you're having a hard time continuing moving forward and you're by yourself and you're kind of feeling solo, you have to quit worrying about what everybody else is doing and just focus on what you're doing. For me, that's where I find peace. Right. And I think that's what that passage was trying to say, is like, you can find tranquility when you're focused on what you're doing, not what everybody else is doing, is where you can find peace. So
that's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. And I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm so glad that Marcus Aurelius wrote that down hundreds of years ago.
Thousands, yeah.
Thousands. I mean, it's amazing that, he was having these same thoughts that we're having today, as they were, as the king of Rome, the emperor of Rome. And then I'm so glad that it was translated to modern day and we can have this conversation about it, because it's so true that you have to stop caring about what people think in order to find inner peace. Because if not, then you're just constantly worried. And that's where like I think a lot of people's anxieties come from. It's just constantly thinking what other people think, right? And I've learned that myself recently. I want to say that I'm in a season of doing, and I just want to do it. I don't care if one person shows up or if 100 people show up. Like we're doing it. And I've seen, and to be consistent with it and to keep on doing it. And I've seen such a, uh, like I've been rewarded with other people's involvement because the things that I've been doing, it's growing and it's building brick by brick, and it's amazing. And I think a part of that is because I've stopped caring about trying to do things for other people. I'm just like, no, this is what I'm doing. Come with me or not,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And I think that's so awesome. And that's a
And with the
great stoic moment.
it's like an oxymoron too. It's because you're focusing on yourself for the betterment of everybody around you. It's kind of
Right.
like it's kind of hard to understand, but it's truthfully what you're doing. Focusing on you so you can be your best you for those that
Mhm.
are around you. So they can feed off of that so you can just be your best present self, man. So no, I love that. Such a great way to wrap it up.
Dude, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Jackson.
Of course, man.
And thank you
Thank you.
for helping me practice with this. This is my first I'm the first time I'm interviewing anyone. And I feel way more weaponized and prepared to take on other, high level conversations.
Yeah,
Which stay tuned for those. We got
yes,
some good
dude.
ones.
You do have some good ones lined up coming. I'm excited for you to do those, man. Will, it was an honor to be your first interviewee, man. I hope it was a good rep for you and helps you get ready for those other ones, man. I'm excited for you to interview those other people that you have on deck, man. It should be super powerful, super
Yeah,
valuable.
for sure. And for the listeners, please don't forget to rate the show, review the show, let us know, follow us on Instagram, and just connect with us. I said our names earlier. Those are Instagram names, so bring it on. Peace.